Well, hello everyone. I hope this new episode of Empire Coins and Collectibles finds you well. I also hope you're out there looking because, as you know, the motto of this channel is if you're not out there looking, you're not finding. And I have another find to share with you. And it's something that is sometimes overlooked because people don't think that proofs have a lot of value because they know they're well struck and they have to be almost perfect, if not perfect, to be worth anything. However, if you can find a set of proofs from the earlier years or the later years of the wheat cents and the early years of the just regular memorial cents, you might find something worth having and, of course, worth a little money. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we get to the backstory, if you could, please like, share, and subscribe as always. We do appreciate all our viewing audience and the comments they leave. They help me because when I come across a puzzle, I'll throw it out there to the community and I get lots of opinions. And when I look in the aggregate, it seems like the number of opinions in one direction kind of are where I need to be in terms of my assessment as well. So I learn from you guys, and hopefully you learn something or become more aware of something from what I have to share with you. So what is it that we're going to talk about today? Well, we're going to talk about a proof set. Now, this is not a proof set that the mint puts out. This is a proof set that some repackaging company like Littleton Coins may have pulled together and put in some hard plastic and then sold as a set. So what is it I'm talking about? I'm talking about a Lincoln cent proof set starting in 1950 and moving forward in time through 1964. And that also includes the small date and the large date proofs from 1960. So did I get a good buy? Well, I bought a collection. Imagine that. Is that no surprise to you? I'm always on the lookout for buying a collection. And if I can pay the price that the seller is wanting and or we can negotiate it down to something that's mutually acceptable to both of us, then I will buy it. Let me say this. When you buy a collection and you're going through all the coins, it takes a lot of work. The collection that I bought, based on what I'm going to show you today, what this came from, I bought back in December, and I'm still going through that collection. There's a lot of coins in it. Actually, I didn't buy this in December. I bought this back in October. I bought it from an estate sale, which I've already kind of mentioned when I first went out there and bought that collection. I think I paid somewhere in the neighborhood of a couple of $1,000s for it. And this was one of the items that I bought. Now, it was at an estate sale. There, all the coins were priced, and I came on the second day in the afternoon. And I was a little surprised because generally, if you come in the second day of the estate sale in the afternoon, you're not going to find a whole lot. In other words, it's going to be well picked over. But for some reason, this wasn't. And I believe the reason why it wasn't picked over is this estate sale had over 100,000 vinyl albums that range from the Beatles to Hendrix to all the way up to modern day. And it was a collection put together by, I believe, a DJ. But he had also collected coins. So in the liquidation of his estate, they had priced everything out, the estate sellers did, and on the second day in the afternoon, the prices were 50% off for anything that had not sold. So I got there as soon as I could, got in line, and when it came my turn, they gated me into the section, which was kind of walled or roped off where the coins were, because, you know, they have to have some type of security in the higher end items. So I bought this, and we're going to show it to you in a little bit more detail. Let me go to the other camera. What you're seeing, of course, is the latest edition book that my beautiful wife, Miss Empire, bought me for Christmas. 2023. And you see this. Now, this is one of those prepackaged deals that come from companies like Littleton. And I'm going to slide this down. So it kind of looks nondescript, doesn't it? But it was listed on the first day. Whoops, it's upside down. Let me turn it around. It was listed on the first day at $30. So let's take a look and see what's behind the cover. And wow, look at this. A US proof Lincoln set, right? So it starts in 1950 up in this area and goes all the way through the 50s. And then when it gets to the 60s, you also have in the 60s the small date and the large date. So I don't know if it's going to show, but there it is. So how much is that? Well, let's just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cents. Would you pay $30 for 16 cents? You know, if I put it that way, you'd probably say no. Well, how about $15 for 16 cents? That sounds a lot better, doesn't it? But you're still buying 16 pennies for $15. That's the half price that afternoon of the second day. But in truth, these are perhaps an MS-65 on the average state. MS-65, or I should say not MS, forgive me. These are probably on the average proof 65. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. If they're not proofs, they're MS states if they're uncirculated. If they are proof, you use just the PR and the number. So these are proof states, and we're going to say on the average, these are 65, proof 65. And you look at them, man, they look pretty darn good, don't they? So we've got some really intense reds and oranges, and we've got some brown reds. But if they are on the average 65, proof 65, are they worth $15? What do you think? Many people would say, I'm not paying $15 for 16 cents. I'm not paying $30 for 16 cents. But what if I told you they were worth, on the average, perhaps much more than that? Then you would probably be more than happy to pay the $15 and even perhaps pay the $30 on the first day. And again, I was really astounded that these were still there on the second day in the afternoon. But you know, I guess what draws people to the estate sale is how the estate is advertised. And this particular estate sale was advertised bigly and massively as over 100,000 vinyl albums, a collection. And people were there lining up and buying boxes and boxes and boxes of these albums. So I guess that gave me an opportunity. And I went in and I bought as much of the collection as I possibly could. So what about it? How much are they worth if on the average they are proof 65? Well, notice I have here the 2023 76th edition of the United States coin, the Red Book, right? A guidebook of United States coin values. So I've already marked off the page, and I did something that was perhaps to help you read the fine print. So I started going through what the proofs were worth. And if you look at the 1950 proof, let me get it up there a little closer. Will it focus? That 1950 proof, if it's a proof 65, is $70. So when I went through all of that, I came over, let me change my hand here. I came over and I just went down and added up the proof 65 value for each of the coins. $70, 65, 50, 30, 20, 18, 10, 10, and then over here, 8, 3, $2 large date proof, $22 small date proof, $1.50, $1.50, $1.50, $1.50, all the way through 64. So if some of these coins are better than proof 65, they're going to be worth more than these values here. And if some of them are worth a little less, perhaps on the average, we can say all these coins here were proof 65s. Now, if they've been handled in any way, that can detract from the proof state. And obviously, sometimes people put fingerprints on them, and due to the chemical combinations of people's sweat and oil, that fingerprint is ingrained on the coin because it eats into the coin. But these are pretty good. These are pretty good and clearly uncirculated. So what are they worth? Well, if you aggregate all that up as a proof 65, that total set should be worth about $314. So now let me ask you a question. Would you pay $30 for this proof set that's been packaged by, say, a company like Littleton Coins? You bet you would. Would you pay $15 for it? Absolutely. These coins are gorgeous. So I guess what I'm getting at here is the moral of the story. One is if you're not out there looking, you're not finding. And the other part of that story is if you're not paying attention to what's being offered and the packages, even though you might think, it's just cents, it's a package put together by another company, a repackaging, so to speak. I'm not going to waste my time or money with it. You might be overlooking some real opportunity to add value to your collection. Now, what do you think I'm going to do with this? What do you think I'm going to do with this set? Has anybody got any guesses? Am I going to leave it here in this container? No. Now, why is that? Well, let me go back to the main camera and we'll just do the wrap up and summarize what I plan on doing. I plan on taking this set and very carefully with gloved hands, take the coins out of the set. And in my next submission to ANAX, submit each and every one to be graded. And I'm hopeful that most, if not all, will be graded at least MS65. Now, that's a big hope. There's probably going to be some, let me turn it around so you can see the back. There's probably going to be some that will be graded 64, 63. Here's the reverse of those coins. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous, right? Let me see if I can get the light over here and shine a little more light on them. Wow, look at that bright orange. Second row, second coin from my left, which probably is fifth coin from your right. Isn't that gorgeous? Let me flip it back over so you can see the averse again. So my hope is that in the aggregation, these coins will grade out as MS65. And if they do that, I've magically turned 16 cents not into $15, not into $30, but $314. Now, if I have to pay, say on the average, $16 to get them graded, well, that would be 16 times 16 is $256. You might say, well, Ron, you're not making much gain in this. Well, that may be true, but if one or two or three of them, and especially in the early 50s, grade out 66 or 67, those coins are going to be worth a lot of money. And the collectors will become very much interested in, the high-end collectors. And if any of them grade out at 68 or 69, I'm going to be probably doing that little dance jig that my grandfather always did. And it won't be pretty. Okay, I think we're done. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's another way to look at how you enhance the value of your collection. Look for those package coins that companies like Littleton and others put together. And if you can get them from an estate sale or maybe at a garage sale and you can get a good price, you can increase the value of your own collection. By the way, I may choose, once these are certified, I may choose to sell most of them and just keep the few that are in the higher end grades to add to my collection. And that way it not only pays for the entire amount of coins that I bought. It will also help me get ready for the next procurement of a collection that I'm going to buy. All right, my friends, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you're fortunate as I am when I'm out there looking. I hope you find these deals. And remember, if you make an offer and it's not good enough, you negotiate with the seller. And if you both can find something that works for you, then you can buy the coins and then turn around and submit them for grading. One last thing. I think if I went through all the coins that I bought, I think my average price per coin was like 16 cents, something along those lines. It's another way of looking at it. But if I can sell a few items and pay for the entire collection that I bought and then everything else is profit, that's good too. Okay, guys and gals, you be careful out there. Hopefully you'll find treasures like this when you're out there looking, because we know if you're not looking, you're certainly not going to be finding. Take care and all the best.